I mean, if I'm talking to you,
Yeah.
I think it's very important to understand that boxing is not a sport that everybody loves, but it's a sport that men look up to for a simple reason, is because it's a combat sport, and although you don't get seriously hurt, sometimes you do. I was absolutely saddened when he passed away, and I teased him my ass for a simple reason. I've known him, the man, since I was 19,
Yeah.
and here I am now, 31. Very much so. I truly believe, even when I was a young 19-year-old and he insulted me, but in a manner that I thought to myself, you know, it's just for his benefit. I mean, when I first saw Muhammad Ali in New York, he came into the restaurant where we were having dinner at this hotel restaurant, and he said, "Where's that white boy who wants to make a name for himself at my expense?" And I stood up. I mean, I was 19, and I thought, my hero's here. So I put my hand up, "So you're the white boy who wants to make a name for himself? Damn, you're ugly." And I thought, hang on, I haven't even shook your hand yet. I said, "Damn, your mother must have cried when she had you." And I thought, where the hell are we going? He said, and he walked up a bit closer and said, "Oh, you are ugly." And I said, "That's enough." I said, "You haven't met my sister." And with that, the whole thing just collapsed in his lap. So then I say, "Geez, this white boy's got a bit of brain." And the beauty about it was that virtually, well, nearly 4 years later, he and I had our first fight. And that was in Las Vegas. And the fight went the full distance. The only person who was on my side was Frank Sinatra. And he actually came and went public and said, "Joseph, I thought Joe Bugner won on a narrow decision," which was beautiful. But anyway, Muhammad Ali, to me, irrespective of what people say and think, was one of the greatest athletes of all time. You know, when I fought him for the World Heavyweight Championship, 200 million watched it throughout the world. For the world, and that was for the World Championship.
Extraordinary.
Where do you go from there? I mean, none of them could top it. You must understand, we go back so far. Our children, his children and my children, went to school in Beverly Hills, and although we lived very closely, as far as he was only maybe half a mile away from us, we saw each other on many occasions, and he was one of these people that everybody adored, and they loved him. And you know, and he had one of these great attitudes towards his fans. He loved them, and nobody can say different to me, because I saw it. I mean, he just put his arms around them. He had photographs. He was just one of the greatest athletes, in my opinion, of all time. Well, I was, because I got several phone calls, because Muhammad was in hospital already by then, and they asked me would I be able to attend the funeral. And I said to them, I said, "Look, please, you must understand that I live in Australia, and America is at 1,000,000 miles away, sort of, and that is difficult." So cut long story short, I pulled out of it, and I'm glad I did now, because it was a funeral that, in my opinion, was an overkill. And Muhammad Ali was one of those people who would have been embarrassed and shy about
I believe it.
how it
Yeah,
was.
indeed.
I think if I had any regrets my boxing career, the only thing that I regret maybe is the fact that I delayed the World Heavyweight Championship fight against James Bone Crusher Smith. But the fact of the matter was that even though I was the oldest man to win the World Heavyweight title at 48 with a one-punch KO, I mean, that is unheard of. And then I defended it virtually 8-9 months later, and I had I think it was a 10 or 11th round stoppage for my benefit. So I'm the Australian's first World Heavyweight Champion, undefeated. So nobody can say, "Yeah, but I beat him." No, they didn't. At the end of the day, I'm just happy that Australia at last, not other champions, are the first heavyweight champion of the world, first in history. So that made me happy, because if somebody else can do it now, so be it.
Yeah, indeed.
At the end of the day, what matters to me is that I was the first. You won't believe this. I mean, people often ask about my boxing career. But what a lot of people don't understand outside boxing is that I'm also in the Guinness Book of Records
Oh, hello.
for throwing the discus.
Oh.
My biggest hero as a growing child was Steve Reeves, Hercules. And he played Hercules, and one day one of these people said, Hercules, throw this plate. And he looks at it and says, what is this? And the person on those films said, that's a discus, Hercules. Throw it, see how far you can throw it. And of course he threw it. And they filmed it in such a manner, I fell in love with it. And you won't believe it, Killadilla. Guinness Book of Records. And you know who gave me the beautiful trophy? Prince Philip.
No, get
The
out.
Duke of Edinburgh.
Fantastic.
No. And the one that I really loved was Princess Anne. This is all true. Princess Anne said to me, she says, you're the young man who... I said, Your Highness. I said, I'm as old as you are. Anyway, she says, you were in the discus throw, weren't you? I said, yes. I said, I'm very proud of it. She says, yes, we are all proud of it. Guinness Book of Records.
Yeah.
I was 15. When I think back, I mean, you know, I fought him virtually two years apart.
Yes.
In 73 and 75.
75.
Yeah, and he was awesome.
Yes.
How he was.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you picture yourself here, I mean, here we are in the middle of Kuala Lumpur, and here in Malaysia, and I get threatened by a bloody moron assassin that he's going to assassinate me should I come close to beating Muhammad Ali. And the Malaysian government comes to me and said, oh, Mr. Bugner, I think we're going to stop the fight from happening. I said, don't be silly. I said, I'm not worried about those morons who's threatening me. He says, on one condition, sir. He said, we're going to bring in at least 200 Marines, Green Berets, and obviously they're sharpshooters like we have in our country. And I said, look, it's not necessary. Yes, it is. And they put all these soldiers around the top of it. It was an open stadium. And they were frightened. And there was over 45,000 at the fight. And about 200 million throughout the world. Thank God the bastard didn't shoot me. You know, I mean, I was a bit concerned. Nearly as long as I've known Mohammed.
20 years, 25.
He's older than he looks. Oh, Greg Ford. No, I've known Greg for, oh my God, 25, 30 years.
I still remember the sign down there at Bundle, Joe
Yeah.
Bugner's Trade Tools.
That's right. I just want to be Australian when I'm in Australia. I want to be an American when I'm in America. I want to be...
Indeed.
If you don't communicate with the people you're living with, what kind of buffet are you?
Yes.
And I hope people see this and realize that wherever you are, you become part of those lovely people. I'm not talking about murderers and thumpers and killers. I'm talking about the general public, nice people.
Yeah.